And I have and do experience the greatest joy. I know I'm talking big superlatives, but I don't know if nobody experienced the joy I feel. My wife, the way she loves me, is uncanny. And my children, how they're able to talk and articulate bigger ideas that their age would suggest. And then the music I get to enjoy. I get to be with the biggest, most creative artists of all time, though, not just from a certain city, but of all human history. I'm with the best. That's a blissful experience. That's really rare. I'm living something I believe is very rare to humankind.
Hello out there, this is UraelB, and once again, we're here on the REBIRTH podcast, a podcast inspired by my album, Respect the Real Volume 2, where we discover themes in nostalgia and rebirth and transformation in our lives. And without further ado, I would like to introduce Dontae Winslow, the world-renowned trumpeter, composer, vocalist, father, husband, mentor, and all-around great human being, the person who's been inspiring me for the past 5 years as a mentor to keep touching people with my art. And that's exactly what he does. So Dontae, please let the world know who you are.
Hello, thank you for having me here, Urael. My name is Dontae Winslow. I am a husband, father, trumpeter, composer. I compose music for films, and I've also done the Oscars. I rap, play vocoder. I've produced at least 10 albums. I perform in a band called Winslow Dynasty. Sometimes my son Jedi, who plays keys, performs with us. And I've been in the business for about 30 years. I'm from Baltimore City. I made my big splash on the music scene in LA for the last 22 years. I have toured the world with musicians like Justin Timberlake, Queen Latifah, Lady A, Lauryn Hill, D'Angelo, Jill Scott. And I've recorded with Dr. Dre, produced and written songs with Jay-Z, Kanye, Kendrick Lamar, played on 3 Super Bowls, 3 Grammy Award shows, been touring Europe, been on every continent for the last 30 years. Just finished a 2-year tour with Justin Timberlake. I've toured with him 3 times for the last 12 years. My main mantra is that I am a light, and I love to illuminate the light in other people.
I want to know, before the accolades, before the accomplishments, before the trumpet or the mic, what made little Dontae Winslow from Baltimore, Maryland, want to become a musician?
So many things. My first experience and exposure to music was watching Michael Jackson perform Billie Jean at the Motown 25 show, and he did the moonwalk. So just jumping around the couch, seeing him do the backward slide, we called it, and the energy that came off of the screen was visceral for me. The goosebumps on my skin have always been a measurement of what joy is. And I always want to stay close to that. The second experience I had was going to church and hearing a song called He Decided to Die by Dr. Margaret Durrell, another mentor and teacher of mine, actually a LA native and a friend of mine and composer now who I love. But when I was 8 or 9 years old, I'd never heard of her. The song she wrote was so powerful, so anointed, filled with the Holy Ghost. Again, I heard this song being sang at church, and it used to give me so many goosebumps up and down my skin. And I kept asking myself and wondering from God, what is this feeling that you get from music that feels so joyful and blissful and uplifting and healing all at the same time? Something special about music. And it still does the same thing to me now. That's what I think attracted me to music in the beginning. I also began playing a trumpet when I was 10 years old, 10 years old in the 5th grade. And I didn't get bit by the bug just yet. I think going to middle school and playing in the band, we played an English traditional song entitled The Water is Wide. And I played that song and I felt the goosebumps again. I'm playing in the band, I'm looking at my peers, and the peers are playing different instruments, and we're all friends, but we're making music together. I was like, wow, this is a magical experience. This is wonderful. And so for me, that started to culminate in my mind that this is a set of events that kind of give me the same outcome. Music, vibration, frequency, and goosebumps. Okay, it's something to that. So I started practicing music and getting A's in the band and learning songs. And I think that love grew from those experiences with other people and hearing church, hearing Michael Jackson R&B music, and then experiencing it live in a musical setting with other people.
This podcast and audio series was brought to you by Respect the Real, a network where creativity is anchored by authenticity, passion, and pure intentions. If you're enjoying this, please follow UraelB on social media, follow our guests on social media, and drop a comment on this video so we know how much value we're bringing you. The thing I hear in what you're saying is there were very specific things that you noticed kept coming back for you. And that was those goosebumps, the vibrations, the energy from the person or the people making the music. And is there a reason you think it was speaking to you? Was there certain things going on in your life at the time, or was there a thing that you really wanted to connect with but couldn't, and music was that outlet for you?
No, I think I was born a very sensitive child. I've always been very in tune with my surroundings. I can always feel energy. I can tell whether people are good or bad by looking at them and feeling their energy, hearing the words they choose to use. I've always been hypersensitive. And so I think being a sensitive child, being an only child, being a creative and artsy child, I think music was a natural go-to. Art was another go-to. I could draw really, really well. I mean, the art I see people draw now, it's mind-blowing. I mean, I'm not that good, but as a child, I was one of the best at my school. Me and this other kid, Karan. And so we used to draw so well, we won like prizes or awards, and my mother could draw. So I knew that being able to draw and outline things let me know that, okay, I'm a Pisces. So I know there was an artistic gift in that arena. It was like art, music, and extrasensory perception. I knew I had like ESP. I could kind of feel like something's going to happen before it happens. I remember reading books about ESP when I was in the third grade. Kids don't do that. I read the dictionary in the third grade. I was just, figuring stuff out. So I was always introspective and artsy, alone. And when you're alone a lot, you're always figuring out something to do that's creative. But I never really wanted to get in trouble. I think trouble was a thing that turned me off. Bullies turned me off, and creativity turned me on. So I think the natural way I came here to this universe lended itself to me being a friend with music and vibration.
That's interesting. And the thing that stood out to me was the fact that all of this was in solitude. There weren't too many direct influences or people you watched do it. It just kind of came to you and you were attracted to it. And in that solitude, what did you find as like the calling? Was it really just, hey, I like to see things, imagine them, and then create them and bring them to life? Or was it just, I want to make sure I have a way to express myself?
Both. I think wanting to bring things that don't exist into the existence was attractive to me and magical. I also think adjusting to the pain that life can bring you and being able to cope with sadness, pathos, feelings of loneliness, I think music soothed that feeling. And I knew that I could turn to the trumpet, at least by middle school. I needed, playing this trumpet makes me feel better. I can deal with life's issues at this age, and I'm sure more issues to come if I hold on to music. Even if I don't become a professional, even being an amateur, novice musician, I know that there's healing powers in music that science still has yet to really prove. But music therapy is something that kind of speaks about the healing factor of music to young people, old people, or people dealing with mental challenges.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I think there's a lot to say when it comes to the creation of the world and the frequencies that are around us anyway, and how music is the recreation of that in our own way. Like we can all create some type of harmony in the world we're in, no matter what we're doing. If it's not musical, you can find harmony in other places. And I want to know, if it wasn't music, what was Dontae passionate about? What else was Dontae doing in his younger days?
At that age, I was into basketball. In the sixth grade, I wanted to be Spud Webb because he was a slam dunk champion in 1986. Everybody that I know knows that I always talk about Spud Webb. Also, Len Bias was like the first round draft pick for the Boston Celtics at this time, early 80s. And unfortunately, he had passed away. He was a hometown hero for Baltimore. So basketball was attractive. We had one of the best schools in the nation, which is Dunbar High School, and Muggsy Bogues went there, and Carmelo went there. And I'm not a really big sports buff, but I knew that at a young age. And I was like, oh, Baltimore basketball, you can make it. So I played every day. And then, my uncle made me take my goal down. I used to play every day after school. They said, where Dontae at? He playing basketball. You couldn't even get me on the phone. But my uncle wanted to sell drugs out the house. And then he said, man, you bringing too many Negroes around here. You getting my spot too hot playing that basketball. So he made me take the goal down. And I was very sad and upset about that. I think that ended my basketball career. Even though I was short, I still was fast and I was very energetic and hype. I would have hustled, And so football in 7th grade, I got into that, but I don't think I wasn't cut out for football. I have to honestly say I wasn't very good compared to how good the kids were at that age, at that time. I played on a team for like 1 year and they were cracking each other. Rah, rah. It's like, I was like, I don't want it that bad. That physical trauma wasn't for me. But I respect it. Art was another thing that was in the back. Writing. I love to write. I used to write short stories and what I call mini novels, and I would just write for ages. You couldn't get my pen to stop moving. I would write stories, horror stories, Dracula, child stories. So writing, music, football, baseball, and basketball. And I had a list on my wall since I was a child. I've always had a list of what I want to be when I grow up, or goals. And I've accomplished many of them. They change every year, but everywhere I go and speak to young people, I always say, write down your dreams and your goals because they do come true. And I think having a physical representation of what you want goes into your subconscious, and your subconscious helps it to manifest into real life. Something that I've always done, and I believe in it. And so these goals have been, things that I've always wanted to attain. And even though I've played with some of those things, I think around 8th grade, I kind of locked onto one, and that was the trumpet. Like, I think I'm gonna go to this performing arts high school, the School for the Arts. And if I win this audition, that means my divine path is to go towards music. And that's what happened.
I see. And do you think that that was your turning point, like getting into that school and transitioning from middle school to high school and going to performing arts school and taking it serious? What do you think is the reason you took it serious? Was it just the passion or the things you could see for yourself if you were to get good at it?
I could see the future. I saw that, I always knew I was supposed to be famous or rich or both. Everybody says that, but it's different when you feel it in the inner core of your heart, your chest. I always felt there was a fire lit in me since I was a child, that there's something important I had to say to the world, and that my unique sensitivity was a superpower. There's a childlike nature that I possess, an aura of innocence. Even as a man, people who know me, and I'm 51 now, but they know me and they see me and they say, you still have qualities of like a little boy, the innocence of a child. And I think that quality is how I get along with children. I'm masterful with young people and with children. I have 3 great children, but before I had children, I hung with children. I used to take my little cousins out to the mall, to go-kart rides. And so that piece, that little piece that I possess, is a special little nugget. I think that triggered in my mind and let me know that, oh, that means you're very special, and there's something special you have to do. It may be music, it may be art, but God's going to use you to grow you up, to expand and bloom that flower, and it's going to bless and heal so many people around the world. You're going to tell your life story and it's going to heal. It's going to be a movie. And I'm like, really, God? And so since I had that sensation in the middle of my chest, a heat like a fire is still there. That fire let me know that any trial that I would have to endure, I would win and be successful. And it goes with my name, Win Slow. Now, it might take a long time. It might be a slow rise, but you will always win. I've been confident of that my whole life, and I do always win.
What's up? It's UraelB, and I want to say thank you for listening to this conversation. If you're enjoying it, please consider purchasing my album that inspired it all, Respect the Real, Volume 2. The full album is available in the link in the description, and there's also a link to stream all the singles. Whichever way you support, I thank you for it. Well, I'm going to get out the way. Back to the conversation. You do, and even the etymology, your name reinforcing that, is so beautiful to me, because you saying it and it being evident is one of those things I feel like I've always had to learn, which was patience and understanding that just because I can see something and I know I can make it happen doesn't mean it's going to happen right away. And growing with myself in that process of trying to get to that point to where it all does come to fruition has been a big lesson for me. And another lesson for me, and something I heard you say, was that innocence, the childlike nature, and the nature of you being so lighthearted. Have you felt that it's gotten in the way at times, even professionally, or just trying to achieve what you've been doing? Or do you think it's always been your like secret weapon for, dealing with tough things?
It's always been a secret weapon.
Mhm.
It can be tough when I'm dealing with bad people. So
Mhm.
normally, if I meet someone and they don't like me, normally they're evil.
Mm.
And so when I see evil and it's turned off by my light, that kind of lets me know not to push past the resistance. For me, if I see
Mhm.
resistance, I taught myself to go another way. Like I choose the path of least resistance. I don't try to make relationships work that are not supposed to work. I'm trying to
Mhm.
work with people who I can't find common ground. I can't get along with, or the energy is off. I don't try to force it to happen. I don't believe in force. Sometimes my childlike nature or innocence or kindness, whatever you want to call it, everybody doesn't like that. And I don't expect them to. So if they
Mhm.
don't like it, then maybe we're not meant to do projects together, work together. We can have conversations. We can still be cool. We can be colleagues. But
Mhm.
so in some situations, it has not worked in my favor. If it's
Mhm.
a dark world or if it's a negative environment, but in situations where it's medium light or very bright light, it's worked wonders. It's
Mhm.
opened doors. It's allowed me to get in rooms that most people can't get in because I come with a purity that people want to be around. They are
Mhm.
most likely the humans I encounter are attracted to whatever God has put inside of me and say, I need some of that. Like that's making me feel powerful. Um,
Mhm.
Somebody told me on tour last week, they said, man, you walk in a room and all the darkness goes out. Everybody changes. It's like I lift the room or I bring God to the room or God allows me to walk in and he breathes light through my aura. And so
Mhm.
in those instances, when I ask something, I have a lot of favor. I have favor with God and I have favor with man. And so, you know, I can get in contact with people that some people can't get a return call from. Or
Mhm.
I have relationships with people of all spectrums of life that a lot of people wouldn't be able to have those kind of relationships with. And not working relationships, I mean personal relationships.
Mhm.
And so I think I attribute that to the light and not to I play the trumpet or because I do music or I heard he's a dope musician. Yeah, that may play a small part, but
Yeah.
really I think it's the light and it's the ease and it's the um, intentionality towards either blessing people I'm around
Mhm.
or not wanting to drain, take, or steal or harm people I'm around, and people can feel that. So that's been a benefit for me.
I love the fact that it feels that way when we're speaking. Like it feels that way. You're not just saying this to manifest it and make it that way. You are the light you're carrying. And a lot of people, especially like you said, you can encounter a dark energy or an energy that is malevolent and feel that even if they are putting on a facade of being nice or like walking with light, they're only using it to get yours out of you. I feel like if you are actually walking with light, that's how you see it coming. Some people who also might be lost or it's a little dim for them and somebody's using their, naivety or lack of self-awareness against them to take their light, they don't really see it. But when you actually walk with the purity you're talking about, it sounds like you can detect it faster in somebody else and know how to like step back or go the other way, like you're saying. And I think that purity you're speaking about is a very necessary thing to have. And I don't know at what point did you realize you had it, but would you say between like I guess early adulthood and now has that purity grown, changed, or diminished? And how has that battle with trying to, maintain that purity been?
Hmm. It's a good question. You asked some deep stuff today. I would go back to early childhood. My early trauma is being by my uncle at age 4. And it's like it woke something up in me. It broke something, it killed something, but it also woke something up. It took the veil over my eyes, and I was made known as an adult. Like, I'm an adult now. Like, now I see everything. Now I see evil. And now I know how pure I am because I don't want you to die. You should die for what you did, but I don't want that for you. It's hard to explain, but for those who've gone through it, it's this weird. It's physically painful, but it's emotionally painful. It's destructive. You feel humiliation. You feel embarrassed.
Right.
And I've had another tragedy similar happen with a stranger later. All this will be in my book, in my life story. But I bring this up to show it made me aware of the purity at a very young age. Like, okay, I'm a child and I want good for other people. I even want good for people who have hurt me badly. That's when I knew, okay, I'm different and I'm pure and I'm special.
Right.
I survived it. And now that I look at myself as a whole man, meaning whole, like healed, whole, not perfect. I'm still working through trauma on my own. And music has helped being therapeutic in purging all of that pain throughout this whole process. But I get to see that, oh, I'm a man who loves, forgives. I have children. I have a wife. I'm able to express. I'm able to be vulnerable, sensitive. I can be a warrior. I can be peaceful. I choose not to be violent, but I know where that place is located. And so being able to, by the grace of God, masterfully navigate trauma to enlightenment has been my life journey. And it's magnificent because I think God wants it to be a testimony to others that, okay, you can do it too. Yes, it's difficult. And yes, we're not the same. We all process pain and trauma differently, but you can do it. It is possible. It is possible to be a healthy, healed, whole man who can still love and heal others and still not have hatred, but have been also destroyed at the core as a baby and as a young toddler and as a teenager. I mean, I dealt with my mother dying of AIDS and being strung out on drugs in high school. All those were painful things that music helped me get over, and playing a trumpet helped me get over. But the miracle is being able to love in this day, being able to love with my wife, being able to not be ashamed. Like, shame is a powerful thing. It leads one to depression. I've seen some of my friends who have experienced the same horrors that I've seen, and some of them are not in their current minds. Some of them are in prison. Some of them are dead, or some of them are on drugs. So when I look at me, I'm like, that guy's a miracle. You're just a miracle. And those who know me, who saw me as a teenager, look at me and say, oh my God, it's like a ghost. It's like you're the inverse. You're the antithesis to what I saw as a teenager. Because in the teenage years, it was hard for me to navigate that pain. So you can see the pain viscerally.
Yeah, I definitely resonate with all of it from the experience, even the ability to realize like you're no longer the same, or you're no longer the innocence or what you realized you were, like that awakening, that first bite of the apple, if you will, and realizing that there's something else to your energy. That's something I resonate with too. And even the idea of shame being so strong. I heard Tupac once say, fear is stronger than love. And I used to believe that until I realized that a lot of the love we've been receiving in our lifetime is conditional. It's not unconditional. You're fearful of the conditions you have to like meet to get the love. And that's why it's always like fear is easier to take over you, and shame is so much bigger and stronger than you wanting to radiate your light. Fear is loud. It'll be all in your ear. But that love is that heat you were talking about right here that just keeps on burning no matter what. I believe that's the reason all of your successes have felt even stronger than what they could look like on paper. That's why you're the person you are today. And that's why the mentorship you give me feels so much stronger, because it's coming from a place of, this isn't just I'm good at what I do. This is I'm an amazing person, not just because of what happened to me, but how I dealt with it and how I got through it.
That's right. You got it. Listen, you're amazing. You're an amazing young man, and you get all the lessons. And this is what we're supposed to do. Nobody did this for me, but I'm supposed to do it for you and you for the next one. The whole African tradition of gurus and passing stuff down is we're supposed to take the greatest amount of knowledge that has occurred before us, grab it, seal it, lock it, swallow it, digest it, transform it, alchemize it, and give it to the next person to pass on. This is how we evolve as a species.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And I appreciate you sharing that message with me, because I know it's difficult to relive or profess your traumas. And that's something I've been dealing with on my album and the piece of work I've been working on, because it made me realize that there's so much to telling stories and being a storyteller that we're neglecting and undermining as a society, that I feel like needs to be back in not only just music, but in all facets of life. Like, we don't sit down with each other and talk about our lives or talk about anything anymore. It's all through the internet and digitally, and we're kind of just sharing snapshots. It's like if you took one sentence from your book and decided, hey, I want everybody in the world to know this, and they're just going to think they know you, you know, and we don't share our stories anymore.
Yes. Put your phone away. Let's have a conversation. Let's let our energies engage. So you're on point.
Yeah. And with that being said, I want to ask you, what exactly do you think your story and legacy will say to people once you're said and done, and once you feel like, I no longer desire to achieve outwardly, I just want to let it be what it is and let the world, you know, take and learn from it?
They will say, I'll say it like how my friends say it. You are the most sincere, authentic, brightest light of a human being I've ever encountered on the planet Earth. That's what I think my legacy will say. And that will manifest itself through my children, through my wife, through the love of my wife, through my music, through other people who have been in contact with my spirit. I don't know anybody brighter than me. I don't say that out of arrogance. I just haven't run into somebody who's a light like I am a light in the same way. And that doesn't make me better, because people are different. Just because you don't light like I light in terms of affirmation, positivity, or going forward. Some people are hard. Some people are tough. And we need that as well. I think every clog in the wheel is important. Like I'm an inspirer. I'm a light worker. But some people are protectors. A protector might not be a light in that way, but they might protect and keep everyone safe. They can't be that kind of light. They have to be a wall. Some people are warriors. Some people have to go attack and hunt. They can't be a light in that way, because they have to go free people or hurt people for a good cause. Some people are healers. Some people are, preachers. Some people are doctors. Some people are scientists. There's so many different parts of the clog in the wheel. So in terms of my purpose, I think the light part, as it manifests itself through music, through art, through design, through fashion, through the way I dress, through everything, I think that will be the legacy left. Like, he endured some of life's greatest pains. He walked away with his head up. He had a smile on his face. He smiled at trauma. And that grace is sufficient enough for you to get through any circumstance. I think that's what my legacy will probably say. I don't know, because I'm still here living it.
Hey, it's UraelB, and I want to say thank you again for tuning in to this conversation. Your attention is extremely valuable. So if you took any value from this video, please consider liking, sharing this with someone, and subscribing to this channel. It goes a long way. And stay tuned for more. Check out one of these videos right here.